Hello, brilliant brains. Welcome to the castle of Maths Fanatics. Today we're going to be looking at this question on hyperbola. Okay, so I've set up 6 things that you need to know how to do for any given hyperbola equation. Some of them are not asked, but we're going to answer all of them. Right, perfect. The first thing that you need to know how to do is the equation of the asymptotes. Is the equation of the asymptotes. Okay, this is how we do it. Okay, let me write our function here. So we have f of x equals to -4 over 2 minus x minus 1. Perfect. So you have the number here being your y asymptote. So always the number that is on the side is your y asymptote. So in this case, our y asymptote is y equals to -1. Okay. If there's nothing, you're gonna say y equals to 0. If there's nothing on the side. But always the y asymptote is the value of the number, including the sign that is here. Then this is called the horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptote. Okay, then let's now get the vertical asymptote. To get the vertical asymptote, what you do, you always take the bottom and say equals to 0. So the vertical asymptote, we have 2 minus x equals to 0. Then when we solve for x there, I'm just gonna move this x that side in this case. Do you see it? Which becomes 2 minus 2 equals to x, or x equals to 2. This is your vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, always when you give the asymptotes, don't just say 1 and then the other one you say 2. No, you have to show that y equals to, remember it's an equation. It has to be y equals to whatever the value is here, and then you take the bottom, you say equals to 0, and then you solve that, and then you get your 2 asymptotes. Okay, perfect. Now let's do the axis of symmetry lines equations. Okay, it is also pretty simple to do it. Let me choose a different color here. So there are 2 of them as well. The first one, okay, let me just create a barrier here. So the first axis of symmetry line given by this, y equals to, you take the bottom and you take that, you just add them together. The bottom and the q, you add them together. So the first one is 2 minus x, which is my bottom. Then I take my q, I add, and then I simplify. Y equals to -x plus 1. That's your first axis of symmetry line. This one, the question will usually say decreasing, because the gradient is negative there. Do you see it? It's -1. So if they say give the decreasing axis of equation of axis of symmetry line that is decreasing, you give this one. Sometimes they'll say negative gradient. Negative gradient. You give this one. Or the second axis of symmetry line is given by this. You go to your function, you see on your bottom, you only switch the signs of the bottom. So this is a plus, it's gonna be a minus. That one, it's a minus, it's gonna be a plus. That one remains the same. The value of q remains the same and the sign remains the same. So I'm gonna have -2 plus x minus 1. You only switch the bottom, which is x minus 3. Then this is your other axis of symmetry line. This one, they'll say increasing. If you hear the word increasing, sometimes they'll say positive gradient. Right, of which is true because our gradient is 1 there. Awesome. Okay. Domain and range are pretty simple if you have your asymptotes. So my domain is basically x elements of real numbers But remember, x cannot be the asymptote, né? So x cannot be 2. Remember, asymptote is the line that the graph keeps on approaching but never touch, né? Okay, and then range is the same, y-er, but y cannot be the asymptote, which is -1. So it exists for all y values except for when y is 1. I mean -1, né? Perfect. So now we're going to get an eraser. Okay, so let's remove this so that we can be able to do our calculations here. Okay, we're going to do y and x-intercept now. We're going to do y and x-intercept. Okay, so remember, for x-intercept, y must be 0, right? For y-intercept, x must be 0. Sharp. So I'm going to go to my function where I say, remember, this is y equals to basically. So for x-intercept, I'll make this part here 0, right? Which becomes 0 equals to -4 over 2 minus x minus 1, right? Then this is my LCD. I have to distribute it. So it's 0, 2x, and then negative. You multiply everything at the top. But where there's LCD, you don't, because it's already there. So I'm going to also multiply here. Right. Perfect. So this part is still 0 because anything multiplied by 0 is 0, right? Then we have -4 minus 2 plus x. And then this is -6. I'm going to move it this side. So 6 equals to x. Né? Therefore, your x-intercept is going to be, the x value is 0, your y value is 0. X value is 6, I mean, and then the y value is 0. This is your x-intercept. Né? Always write it in point form because it's a coordinate. Okay, now let's do y-intercept. For y-intercept, we make x 0. So we're just going to make that part 0 then. So f of x0 equals to -4 over 2 minus 0 minus 1, which becomes -4 divided by 2 is -2 minus 1, which is -3. Therefore, your y-intercept is what? It's 0, coordinate -3. And then now we have found everything, we can easily come to the questions. Né? Let's see. Write down the equations of vertical and horizontal asymptote. We already did them. There they are. Sharp. Determine the intercepts of the graph with the axes. This is x and y intercept. We did them here and there. And then they want us to sketch now. Okay. They want us to draw the graph. Okay, to sketch, we're just going to do this. Let's see. So that will be my origin. I'm gonna go up there. Then I'm gonna go down. Don't mind my lines, guys. Okay, then here, I'm using a mouse. That's why it's doing this. Okay, and then go there. Awesome. So now I'm gonna choose a scale. I have 6. Okay, 6. So I can go up in 2. So 2, 4. I'll need to extend a little bit this side. Okay, draw. 6. Okay. So I can go up in 2. So 2, 4, 6. So my x-intercept will be here, right? So it's there. So I've sketched this. Now I need to sketch this. Y on -3. So it's going to be -2, -4. Obviously, -3 will be somewhere here. Né? You show that this is -3. And then we need to show our asymptotes. Y is -1. Okay. -1 must be, remember this is -2. So -1 will be somewhere here. So you do dotted lines. You do dotted lines for the asymptotes, right? Asymptotes are sketched with dotted lines. Okay. On -1. Then you show here that this is y equals to -1. Then x equals to 2. Okay, x equals to 2 is here. Here on this line here. On this solid line here. here. So, and then you show that this is x equals to 2, right? Then you're done. You can sketch now. So we go to the point, you go down, and then you draw an arrow there. Then you come this side, you leave the so you move from that asymptote, and then you do this, and that should be a function, right? It have to curve, guys. It's just that I'm using a mouse to draw, so that's why it's not straight, né? But I guess it makes sense. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you found this helpful, please kindly hit the subscription button and share with friends and other maths fanatics. And also feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you.